Good day, everybody, and welcome back. Week 2 Body Blast. Woohoo! You all did so good, and I'm so glad that you are getting so much out of this program so far. And I'm also really happy to see you back at week 2, day 1. Here we go. We are going to be upping that intensity a little bit this week, a little more. We're going to do new exercises for our strength component. But first, let's get started with the warm-up, okay? So, we are going to start with windmill, and we're going to do 10 times each side. So let's get started. Crank up your music. Not loud enough where you can't hear me, but let's get going, okay? We're going to start with light, as we really want to warm up all the muscles in our body. Be your range of motion as we approach number 10, as big as you can go, as your body will let you. Okay. And for our next warm-up exercise, arm circles, we're going to start pulling clockwise. Small circles, 10 times each side. Small, going big. Bigger as we go. Okay. Now let's switch sides. So counterclockwise, small circles. Getting bigger. And bigger. Woo. Okay, and so for our next warm-up exercise, we are going right into ab crunches. Okay, 10 times each side. Reaching, really squeezing those obliques. Small motion to start, getting bigger as we progress. And then last but not least, we are going to do 10 inchworms, okay? So I'm going to step a little further back to the room so you can see my whole body, and basically all we're going to do is we're going to walk down into the high plank position. Again, we want arms over shoulders, walk back up, and we're going to repeat that 10 times, okay? Or 9 more times, I should say. So that's number 2. Number 3. Sure you're feeling all warm, keeping that core tucked in for that neutral spine. Woo, how about we starting to break a sweat here, guys? Go reach. One more. Okay, let's walk her back up. Woo. Yes, okay. So, I bet you're all, now that we're all warmed up, let's get right to her. Okay, so for our strength conditioning component for week 2, we are going to be doing the first exercise is your front to side deltoid raise. Now, For this exercise in particular, and especially since we'll be working for 60 seconds, I highly suggest using 3 to 5 pounds. I'm using 5 pounds, but I suggest anywhere 3 to 5. Now the reason for that is that you don't want to put the muscles in your shoulders, as you've probably noticed, are a lot more sensitive. Your rotator, the muscles in your rotator cuff and your upper trapezius muscles. So the last thing you want to do is put too much strain on those muscles. So which is why for these exercises, I highly suggest using a lighter weight. Doubly so again, since we're working for 60 seconds. Okay, so here's the rundown on this. So again, neutral spine. And we are going to do front to side deltoid raise, so bringing it up. And we want to bring our arms at shoulders level. We don't want to bring them up here, but we want to keep them directly at shoulder level. Bring it down, and then bringing them up to the side. Keeping a very, very slight bend in your elbows. Again, breathing in, breathing out. If you're finding at any time during the workout that you're finding your stability a little out of line, you can put one foot in front of the back just to maintain that neutral spine and to maintain that stability. But just breathing in and out, keeping those wrists straight. Okay, so, and our next exercise is going to be our reverse fly. Now I am going to demonstrate this from the side. So what we're going to do here, if you haven't done this exercise already, and once more I suggest using 3 to 5 pound weights, especially again, 60 seconds work. We are going to bend down, keeping that back straight, eyes fixed on the floor in front of you, at least 2 to 3 feet in front of you. And we're going to bring our arms up like that. To really, really, really engage, to really squeeze those shoulder blades as you come up to work your lats. So your lats are doing work, your chest is doing work, your shoulders and your arms. So but really, really wanting to work those lats, of course. So we also want to keep more balance as in the middle of your feet towards the back, just so you don't fall flat on your face while doing this exercise. Now I'm going to demonstrate it from the front. And yes, you will be working for 60 seconds, but I encourage you slow and controlled. So slow and controlled. And if you feel any time that this is a bit too much, you can pause the video at any time to take a water break, breathe, stretch her out. By the end of this week though, I hope that the whole purpose again is to build that strength, build that endurance. So my hope, actually my goal is for you is by the end of this week to be able to do it 60 seconds without any pause. Okay, now for our third exercise of the strength training component, we are going to do deadlifts. Okay, so I am using kettlebells for this one, but if you don't have any kettlebells, that's okay. You can use dumbbells work just as well, and to really, really get maximum results for this, I encourage you to use heavier weights if you have one available, that is. I am using 30 pounds each, so that's 60 pounds in total that I'm using per weight. But anyway, without further ado, this is how a deadlift works. I'm going to come a little closer so you can see my form here. Don't need to see the kettlebells, but we do need to see my form. So, but what we're going to do, let me just step back quickly. Your weights or your kettlebells are placed on either foot, not too terribly close. as when you do come down, you don't want to accidentally place it on top of your foot. So you want them beside your foot, but not so close where you run that risk of putting it on your foot when you come down. Let me come closer again. So now that we know this part. Okay, so let's get to work here. So what you're doing is weights or kettlebells on either side of your feet, bringing it down, keeping that straight spine as you come, head slightly lifted, gaze forward about 5 or 6 feet, and you're going to pick up those kettlebells and you're going to lift with your knees, squeezing those glutes, and you're going to stand up straight, and basically you're going to bring them down with that same form, come back up again, squeeze those glutes, and back down again. Now the great thing with this exercise, it actually works your entire posterior from your calves or your hamstrings all the way up your back. So like, you're not only working your back muscles, in other words, you're working your hamstrings as well. And your lower back as well. So anyway, without further ado, that is our strength component for week 2, day 1. So I am going to ask you now to pause the video, set your timers to 60 seconds, crank up those tunes, and let's get cracking. And now first I'm going to ask you, how do you feel after that round? Any more difficult? Okay, well, if you have any questions about those workouts, feel free to reach out to me at any time. You can contact me at deanapproach@gmail.com, or you can shoot me a text. My number is listed on my website, or there's with technology, there are so many ways to connect, and I want you to get the most of these workouts while doing them with proper form, because when you do them with proper form, not only will you eliminate that risk of injury, you will get the results that you want and that you're striving for, because that's why we're here, right? It's all about the strength, the endurance, and building lean muscle mass, losing weight, and just building your self-confidence and self-esteem as a whole. Feeling lighter and happier. Anyway, again, on to our next training, which is our hip component. Okay, for this round of hip, we're going to do a high knee jog. 30 seconds, as fast as slow as you need to go, but I encourage you to go as fast as your body will go. It's only 30 seconds of rest. Now, next one is our sumo squat thrusters. So we're coming into sumo squats. I'm going to step back here so you can see my full form. Feet. I'm hoping you can see me from way back here, but anyway, my feet are flared out. Knees come down. As you can see, I'm going to just step a bit closer. Knees do not come over the ankles, or knees do not come over the toes. If they come a little bit over the ankles, that's okay, but so long as we're not coming over the toes. Keeping that straight spine, coming down, and we're coming up with the hop. If you need an easier version would be, let's go down, come up on your toes. That's your modification for that exercise. Next one up is your plank with side kick. Okay, coming into high plank position. Keeping that, again, hands directly between your elbows. Now I'm going to come a bit closer. You can see where I'm going at with this, guys, right? Okay, so basically what we're doing here, plank with side kick, bringing your feet out, while keeping that straight, neutral spine, and we're just kicking to the side, guys. Working those, really opening those hip flexors, those glutes, and those inner thighs. Basically, essentially for this workout, you're working your entire body. Okay, and then you can stretch it out into a much deserved child's pose. Okay, Turn up those tunes, set your timer to 30 seconds, you're working. 30 seconds on, 20 seconds active rest. Don't forget your water breaks in between. Okay, and now for the final component, which is our core component. All right, guys, I'm working you hard on this, okay? So I know you might be screaming at me by now, but the whole point of this program is to get what you want out of it, get what you need out of it. Okay, so for our first exercise, we're going into side plank with a twist, and we're going on our right side. So we're coming into full plank to start, opening up in a side plank, on your toes, hands directly beneath your shoulders, and we're doing it just with a twist. And we're going to be doing this for 60 seconds. Really, really speedy and working those obliques. A modified version of this would be on your knees, keeping that straight line through your torso, twisting, or just lifting. Now the next exercise, all we're doing is we're hopping over and we're doing the same thing on the other side. Okay. Again, you drop to your knees at any time and just lift. And for our last exercise of that component, we are doing swimmers. Okay? So this is probably the easiest of the whole component. We're just going to be coming down onto our stomachs. And all we're going to be doing is swimming. 60 seconds, opposite arm, opposite leg, really target that musculature in your lower back, which is your, and upper back. Your muscular, your rectus spinae, really working it, and that's all for our core component, guys. Okay, so pause the video, set your timers, 60 seconds, crank up those tunes, and we are on. 60 seconds work, 40 seconds after active rest. Don't forget your water break, 1 minute water break between each round, okay guys? And, woo, that was quite a day, wasn't it? Yeah, sure was, quite a workout. Okay, well, again, I am not going to follow through the cool down with you guys, but I really do encourage you to do the cool down, to stretch every single muscle in your body. 3 to 5 minutes, put on some low tunes. You do your deltoid stretch, your tricep stretch, hamstrings, quads. I will include a list of stretches in the description below, but I do highly encourage you, do not forget this part of the workout, as it's very important, not only for muscle recovery, but for bringing down your heart rate and bringing yourself back into your everyday working mode, okay? Thanks again for joining me for day 1, everybody. I look forward to seeing you on day 2. Stay tuned.